This is the astrology report for the week of January 12th to the 18th. And this week ahead is awesome. Can I think of a better word? It's kind of Venus trying to make some wishes come true, helping us try to define something in our lives that we're really trying to create. And I want to bring you into the realm of wish fulfillment just for a minute. Venus is the goddess of what we desire, what we wish to unite with and bring to us in our lives. She's going to flow to both Saturn and Neptune in the week ahead, opening up doors of the potential to really plant seeds of what you want and watch them unfold. Now, I know a lot of you may not be into the manifestation world or the secret, and I agree. A lot of our lives are kind of preordained, but we have some movement here. We have some latitude to be very co-creative as we navigate a storyline that we chose to experience. And so in this regard, I'm encouraging you to use the Venus sextile Saturn, Venus sextile Neptune, Venus trine Uranus, or the unexpected positive surprises that could occur not only this week ahead as Venus does this magic in our sky as a fairy godmother, but also as she gives us a bit of also a wink and a nod for the promise of this to come through even more powerfully in the February timeframe, middle of February, as she rises to her visible status, yet again, this time as an evening star. So this is a kind of story that you can plant that seed as she's invisible, just having passed her rebirth in the heart of the sun, and now she's ready for a new mission. And the way she hooks up with Saturn, Neptune, make your dreams real. Uranus, pleasant, exciting, exhilarating, unexpected new directions and surprises. I like this sky a lot. I'm going to draw you a picture of the sky. We're going to look at it together. I'm going to talk about Monday through Sunday. I'm going to give you an overview. Then we're going to talk about your sign. Monday drops are usually shorter than my regular videos. So if you're used to me babbling on here for about 2 hours, don't think that's going to happen this time. I'm determined to get through this video today, no longer than 75 minutes. So it's getting dark in Vancouver, Canada. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, I have quite a few new subscribers here, and you're so very welcome to my work. I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. This is not sidereal or Vedic astrology. I do use a lot of minor asteroids and fixed stars in my delineations, and I also blend tools from Babylonian and Vedic astrology that also cross over well with the Western Tropical Symbolic Zodiac. And if you're new here and you would like some guidance from me for 2026, I did create something called my 2026 All Signs Bundle, and you can also buy your individual signs as a part of my yearly fundraiser to create a teaching scholarship fund for people who can't afford to learn with me, and also to create to help me pay for my staff, and also to buy equipment that I need. So I do need some more equipment pretty soon, particularly a new lighting system. My ring light is 8 years old, and it flickers now, and it's not holding its light. Then your ring light's supposed to hold the light, especially when you're recording in the dark. I also have a join button here if you want to join my membership community on this channel, where I also do live streams with members only. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, and everything else about me, what my Patreon community, my writing at Substack, is in the description box beneath this video. Now, one thing I will say about collaging, because I'm not joking, okay? I know it sounds crazy, but if you would like to free associate morning pages writing like a kind of visionary experience of what your life could be like, and in present tense, I am healthy or happy or joyful or whatever, prosperous. That's great. Do it this week ahead. Okay. And I'll give you the exact dates, but the 14th, 15th, 16th are golden. Okay. Which will be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On top of that, collaging can be an experience of manifesting or visualizing, or both. I noticed that over the years, I've been collaging constantly since, 25 years ago. And I kept pictures of my boards, and sometimes I actually kept the boards. And over time, I started to see, I announced to myself where things were going. To some degree, I might have manifested. It worked both ways. And so, for example, the brand Lunatic Astrology was collaged as a vision board with a picture of the moon and the word Luna and a bunch of other stuff before I even knew that I would be doing this work on this channel. And only about a year after I did that board, or 2 years, and this channel began to happen back in 2019, did I recognize that I had seen my own future. So we vision board, we kind of see the best of our future. And we also can, I think we're doing a bit of a co-creative visualization. Did God make man in her image or her imagination, right? So here's an example. So this is my latest collage I did the other day, okay, on the new year, okay? So for yes, that is like kind of a Jesus vibe. I am very spiritual, and I do think that the teachings of Jesus are amazing. So you see some words there: cultivate, calm, deeper purpose, wonder, exclusive offer. There's a dog, because I do want to have a dog again in my life, right there. Right. That's a woman with her dog. I want partnership. And what else do I have on here? Purpose, more purpose here and now. And then deeper, so for deeper purpose. And I think I also have here, meet the future you this moment. So there's a lot of stuff about calm, presence, being in the moment, wonder. It's a very simple collage, right? I'm not asking for a Ferrari, and I wouldn't know how to drive one. I'm not asking for a diamond necklace. I'm asking for a sense of how I want to feel for the most part, and also what deeper energies I'd like to invite in. So I'm encouraging you all to think about, this week ahead as a bit of a chance to have, you can whisper to your fairy godfather or mother. In this case, it's godmother because it's Venus. Sweet nothings, or what you actually want to accomplish in your reality, or achieve, or experience. And I think sometimes I want to just give you a tip before we show you the sky. When you're visualizing something you want to create, put some feeling into it, right? Like, it's not so much about the Ferrari, right? The Ferrari is a chunk of metal. It's what you feel like driving it. It's what you feel like with your gas on the pedal and your gear shifting. All right. If you're looking for a relationship, I wouldn't sit around visualizing tall, dark, and handsome, right? I'd sit around collaging or visualizing how I want to feel in that relationship. Joyful, happy, easy, comfortable, fun, companionable, whatever the words are. If you're looking to increase your prosperity, it's fine to collage a bunch of dollar signs flowing through, the heavens and landing on a person's head. I mean, that's a windfall. But how does money make you feel? Because you might think you want money, and money can make you feel heavy because all of a sudden you have to manage the darn stuff, or you're afraid to lose it, or you know what I mean? So it's really, sometimes I want to encourage people to think about visualizing states of being that they'd like to experience. So I have wonder there because I don't think wonder is an emotion. Wonder and awe and delight and joy are states of the divine. They're states of consciousness that are connected to our divine essence. And so I want things that are lasting and not fleeting, because happiness comes and happiness goes. Sadness comes and sadness goes. Anger comes and anger goes. You see what I mean? There are states of being that I'd rather be like nestled into, that are not so polarized and fluctuating in the wheel of life. All right. So let's talk about the sky. I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to do my best not to show you my messy desktop, which I do every single time. Yes, I do. And you guys are like, okay, now you know exactly what goes on my desktop. It's never tidy. My computer desktop. Well, my share button just disappeared, which is unusual. I know I have a share button. There it is. So let's make it bigger. We're going to talk about the week. I'm going to talk about some generalities for 10 minutes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And by the way, I've got about 4,900 subscribers in the last 30 days, which means there's a whole bunch of you who are brand new. And I'm so delighted to have you here. Please say hi in the comments and let me know if you're a new sub in the last month. I would love to know. And I do read my comments. Now, Aries, this is set for Aries because I want to show you the sky. It's not going to move. I'm going to spin the wheel. So on January the 12th, right, you can see that Venus is up here at 24 degrees of Capricorn, and she's now moving this way. This is what she seems to be doing, like in terms of an astrological motion, right, through the zodiac and zodiacal order. And you can see a faint line beginning to form here between Venus and Saturn and Venus and Neptune. Now, Saturn, the boundary, the concrete, the structured, the real, the tangible, that which takes work, discipline, focus, effort, climb that mountain over time. And then Neptune, oceanic consciousness, enlightenment, wave on the ocean, compassion, dissolving, letting go. Neptune, visionary, imaginal, creative, and artistic. Venus is the muse. Venus is the goddess of love. Venus is the goddess of that which we wish to unite with. That's why she's good for manifesting, because you have a desire, and then your desire is nothing to you until you unite with the Ferrari or the animal you wish to purchase or the relationship you wish to draw in or the home that you wish to have. So we can use Venus like this idea of making those wishes or those possible yearnings for what we want to draw towards us to unite with into a manifestation energy. And because she's flowing in what's called a sextile to the imagination god himself, Neptune, then this is an incredibly powerful manifestation week, in my humble opinion. And yes, you might not get your full results until mid-February and onward as she clears the sun's beams and we can see her in the morning sky, in the evening sky as an evening star. So that will be just after the sun sets. So here's what I wanted to say. Watch Venus moving forward. I'm going to give you an eyeball on her, right? Now we're here on Tuesday, even tighter blue line. And here we are on Wednesday in my time zone of Pacific Canada. Look, see how beautiful that's lining up? And then here she's going to hit the mark completely on the 15th with Saturn. And then she's going to continue on. And then she's going to hit the mark with Neptune. Now, you'll notice that the sun is starting the same journey. The sun is beginning the same journey as the weekend approaches. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the sun is behind her and fortifying her activation. So what I love about the sun following Venus is the sun can really bring that illumination of sort of lighting up. It's almost like if you were a seamstress and you designed a pattern for a dress, because I'm talking about Venus, right? Seamstress, pattern for a dress. The sun comes along and begins to make the actual thing happen, right? It's a vitalizing, discriminating intelligence of the solar system. So she's making the pattern and the dressmaker pattern, and the sun is going to try to help execute it. Now, some of you might even have some positive surprises this week ahead. And that's because Venus will actually flow beautifully as well to Uranus, as well as Saturn, Neptune. And what we call that is a miniature grand trine. And with a North Node of Fate embedded in the same sign as Saturn and Neptune, which is called co-present, it indicates that there are also fated and destined ways that things are showing up in our lives. I wouldn't put it past even an invisible Venus to bring something coming through the archetype of information or news, Mercury's behind her, that has to do with Uranus, a surprise, an unexpected development, maybe a shock, but a good shock, not a bad shock, okay? A good shock because this is something that will make you tingle. It'll make you exhilarated. It'll make you jump for joy. It'll make you leap and smile. It might bring a sense of excitement or wonder or awe even into your life. So what this will be for each of us will be different based on our sign. If you're listening today for your rising sign, then you're going to think about your character in the simulation, right? Your avatar. But it's also very stimulated by circumstance and accurate for prediction. Your sun is your deepest true self. It's like the game player in the simulation we're in the video game we're in. But it also represents matters connected to one's purpose and career. And your moon has things to do quite often with how you feel and think about your life, but also your home and nest. Okay. Technically speaking, most people will find rising sign most accurate, and then the sun sign and likely the moon less so. All right. Now, let us start with Aries. But before we do, let me say one more thing. Against the backdrop of the entirety of this week, right? Against the backdrop is a loosey-goosey version of a Jupiter opposite this hidden, visible assembly of planets across the way on the axis of Cancer and Capricorn, and in a T-square to the chironic wound in the chart. Now, I'm not going to delineate that. I've covered that in other videos because it's been ongoing for a while, but there is also a need to marry heaven and earth. The earth realm, the emotional realm, the sensitivities of being connected to kin and caring and nurturing others, all of that stuff is connected to Cancer, right? And it is in the world axis of ancient astrology where the human soul is invited into incarnation through the axis of the Cancer rising Eastern horizon in the world axis mundi world chart. And then Capricorn is the opposite. It's the gateway to the gods, and it's where spirit is descending and we're ascending. So the axis of heaven and earth, ascending and descending, right? Or you could say, well, I don't know another way to put it. Like But there's this very deep spiritual vibe in the backdrop in the entirety of this next week, right? That's still playing out, and it has been for a couple of weeks. And the idea is that how can you marry the mundane and the sacred in your life? How can you find a union between things that are muggles and mortal and everyday life? You know, milk the cow, feed the kids, walk the dog, make the dinner, put the shelter, food, and water needs around you of cancer, the homemaker, the kinfolk, the comforts that you need to feel good about life. But at the same time, there's a call to this esoteric, purpose and meaning that Capricorn represents, which requires focus and discipline, which requires a huge amount of lifting ourselves above the everyday things that consume us and asking the deeper question of purpose. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because Venus and then the Sun this week both are leaning for that answer to that question. What is my purpose? Reminds me of that old Dr. Seuss book, are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother? I think it was Dr. Seuss, but I don't think it was. It's another one of those guys in the Dr. Seuss era. Someone else correct me in the comments, but I remember as a child reading that along with my Dr. Seuss books. And that book was really a very cool book. I think it was a little chickadee who'd hatched and was, asking the dog, "Are you my mother?" And the cat, "Are you my mother?" But it's like we're looking for something that really fits, right? We'll know it when we see it. Like, right? I think in the book, maybe the little duck or chickadee saw a bird and knew it was its mother, or maybe it was an owl. I don't even know. But so many years ago. It's not so much about finding any old purpose. There's a purpose just for you. It fits like your mother would fit, like Cancer, the archetypal mother. So as you're going through this week ahead, I want you to ask another question besides what do you want? The Ferrari, the relationship. Do you actually feel that it's a valid question to ask yourself and ask the universe to reply? What is my purpose? Because I like that question. And I even think a vision board can be leaning into that answer. Because if we are living on purpose, and I saw a book today called The Purpose-Driven Life, and I didn't like the title. I was just buying something on Audible and it came across my screen because purpose-driven. I know Capricorn, we drive to succeed and we climb the mountain and we never give up and all of that. But the word driven doesn't feel right. I don't think we're on a purpose-driven life when we're on purpose. Okay. It flows effortlessly. Synchronicities line up. We're blown away by how the pieces fall into place when needed. It doesn't mean it's always easy, but there's a sense that you're moving with the current of the stream of your dharma. And so I want all of us to consider the question of the week. Maybe every Monday, I'm going to start something called the question of the week. And the question is, what is your purpose? And if you don't know what your purpose is, and no one really does because it does change. It's not we have one purpose in life, but we have purposes at this time in your life. If you want to ask the question, do. Okay. See what the results are by the end of this week as Venus and the Sun are asking the same question on your behalf. All right. So let's start off with the Aries, Sun, and Moon. Before I do, I am teaching a course coming up in February, and it's going to be my Divine Timing Masterclass. This is for intermediate students, not for beginners. Please don't sign up if you've never done astrology and you haven't taken Sky Reader with me or anything else. But for intermediate level students, I'm going to be teaching 4 classes on 4 weekends in a row. We're going to be focused on the tools of the ancient world for timing your best life. And we're going to have a weekly Q&A. Now, this class has been taught by me back in 2022, and I decided to reboot it because I have a lot of graduates from Sky Reader now that would probably want to go ahead and learn more. But if you're out there and you haven't taken Sky Reader, you're welcome to join me. But once you get in, do not say, "I don't get this. That's too complicated." It is an intermediate level class. I'll put a link to the course in the description box below. Or the wait list. It'll probably be the early bird wait list for a discount because I need to build out the new platform that I'm working on for this course. But check out the early bird discount wait list for the Divine Timing Masterclass. That's what I called it last time. I think I'll keep it. I kind of like the name Divine Timing Masterclass. And that's advanced timing tools from the ancient world. And so, intermediate to advanced. So check it out below. Get on the wait list. I won't have the platform ready for enrollment yet. All right. So that's all. I just want to plug a course that I'm bringing into being, and I'm excited about teaching it. And the course will be through the entire month of March. It'll be on March the 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd. Okay. Those happen to be Sundays in the month of March. Alrighty. So people who work, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 can get, into my class and not sweat it. All right, so let's get rolling and let's do the Aries people first. Yeah, I lost my share button again. Don't ask. And now you've got my messy screen. Okay. So Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. What's your purpose? Ask the sky, see if it'll answer. Also, use this as a wish fulfillment week. I want to tell you that you've got a lot going on in that 10th house. What's your dream, vision, goal for a career? Technically, Capricorn 10th house energy is also very much about what you wish to accomplish and succeed at with the arc towards purpose or a purpose-driven life, although I don't like that phraseology. And in this way, I want to ask you to consider maybe your purpose, right, is something that's really going to be you're going to lean into it. It's going to lean back into you this week ahead. And Venus is saying, what do you value and what brings you joy in your work? It's not enough. Work should be a bit fun. You should have some actual satisfaction in the actual doing of the work, not just like the money it generates or something. So a lot of you are looking at that question as well. Is it meaningful? But is it bringing me enjoyment or satisfaction or pleasure in this livelihood that I'm in? And then we can also notice that with the sun backing Venus up, you're going to start to see luminous concrete symbols and signs and synchronicities as this week progresses. Thank you, Mercury, for synchronicities to show you where your purpose is or the first steps in the direction of your purpose. Now, one thing about this sky is that you're going to get a money surprise and it should be positive. I don't think you need to wait for the money surprise until Venus is visible in February. I think the purpose thing might unfold better in the middle of February onward. But look at this. This is like, oh, surprise. Uranus is on the wealth star Algol, and he's shock and awe and unexpected stuff in the house of earnings and resources and money and pocketbook and wallet. There's an activation of the 12th house, which brings you into digital income, borderless revenue, international monies, money from distant shores. So there could be a nice little pop financially coming up this week. And you'll probably feel that nice little pop coming through most acutely, meaning most tightly or exactly, approximately around, I would say, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, that's when I'd say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Surprise! Venus is trying to pull off a heist of unexpected financial positivity. It's also really a good sky for you. Should you want to take a job interview, apply for a job overseas or abroad. You might also be getting an unexpected offer of some kind that you weren't, because Mercury is like the email, phone call, text in the professional house. So if you get an unexpected offer, it likely comes from somebody connected to distant shores and foreign lands or far off places. And it could be a professional advancement opportunity as well. So exciting. It could pique your money. It could pique your success, your worldly success. And it could bring you on a stage as well, some kind of stage. A 12th house can be a stage environment. And so you might find yourself on a podcast or a show if you're like me, or being invited to one. You might find yourself having to talk in front of people, being invited to talk in front of people, being invited into some place where you're kind of having to perform, right? Venus likes to be seen in the 10th house as a diva. So there's something going on there, but it would be an unexpected opportunity. You wouldn't be planning for it. And yes, she would say yes. The deeper story is lean into purpose, ask the questions, do your collaging, vision boarding, free associated writing, or whatever you do, because I think this is the week to lean into planting the seeds for a deeper purpose that maybe Venus is more able to deliver more effectively as she is a visible evening star mid-February onward. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk Taurus. You're probably wondering what I'm doing. I have to change it to the whole sign house because it's pinned it to 0 Aries so that I could show you the stuff. Okay. So we'll go into Taurus, not by day, but by hour. I don't think I fixed what I just did. Yeah, it didn't work. Oh my goodness. What I'm just doing is changing the house system and it didn't hold. Okay, there we go. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, you're really loving the vibe, right? Because you got a Capricorn stellium trining you. So it's an earth trine to who you are, and it's called an implying energy. It's moving your way. And so you feel this energy of support, or the heavens are on your side. Team heaven favors you, right? And energetically speaking, this is more of a purpose house than not, because the ninth house is one of the significance of our life houses, 1, 5, and 9, and meaning and purpose in terms of the dharma of our lives and the way to move into alignment with one's natural talents, gifts, expressing them in this lifetime, having a sense of meaning and purpose for your incarnation. This is a story that you're going to want to really lean into this week as a kind of visionary, maybe collaging, seed planting archetype. And the thing about that is, if you do want to vision board or free associate, write, or journal, or daydream a bit, good, because the planting of the daydreams or the visions right now is very powerful. As I said in the intro, Venus is hooked up to the imagination god Neptune, and also to the make it real god Saturn. Mostly I'm seeing a lot of moving towards long range goals, plans, and dreams that you've had for a long time being revised, and I would say up leveled. You know, you always wanted to reach a 5-figure income, well, dream into a 6-figure. You know what I mean? So there's something bigger than just the ordinary goals, or something that wants to magnify itself here and volume it up a bit and dare to dream. Like, what the hell? What's the risk, right? What's the risk? Dare to dream. You could find yourself benefiting this week ahead as well from friends, benefactors, and allies, people who want to lift you up, support you, give you a leg up in life. And you might also notice that the surprising element that is embedded in Uranus is within yourself. And so for you, you know, Cancer sun, it's within your deepest soul essence, but also career matters, and moon, your mind and emotions, but also your Taurus moon, also your matters to do with where you live. And then, of course, Taurus rising, it's all about your character in the simulation. Stubborn fixed sign doesn't like change, right? Well, Uranus is going to give you a blast of change, but more likely within yourself, right? Taurus sun, maybe within your career. Positive surprises in your career for Taurus sun. Taurus rising, you might have an epiphany, an aha, a divine download, a shattering insight of some kind. And it is connected to this week's, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Venus trine Uranus. I used to call these videos happy or lucky money surprises, but Venus isn't just about money. She's about love and pleasure and kindness and peace and money and the delights of the matrix, the cigar and the steak and the wine. Something is breaking through here. You could get unexpected opportunity to travel with a sibling older than you, with a friend. You get an unexpected legal breakthrough that shocks you and surprises you and gives you some monetary gain. It feels like a windfall, you're saying to yourself. You could get some unexpected opportunities that are surprising and delightful regarding education and higher academic settings. And if you're in the book publishing industry, some of you might be trying to get a book publishing deal. This can look like a big breakthrough here. Anything to do with a sibling, one older, two older, are highly activated. And those siblings are also very fortunate towards you and bring you positive developments in this week ahead. So run with the vibe and dream about purpose more than any other sign. Visualize purpose. You're one of the most purpose directed in this week ahead, but it also takes you into God and spirituality, the ninth house, deep truth and wisdom. There's a lot going on. You're trying to work it through. You're healing a chironic wound in your deep soul work and addictions, right? So there's something changing for you. And this is kind of like, look for it almost to be like a breakthrough, okay? I might put that on the video title too. Uranus can break free and break through stuff. And it's going to like unshackle you from something that has taken you off a meaningful life. A purpose-driven life. I hate that driven word, though. All right, Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. Wow. Like, okay, I'm one of you because I'm a progressed Gemini sun. You guys email me a lot about this. Your progressed sun, your progressed ascendant, your solar return ascendant are fine, but they're icing on the cake. The cake is your natal chart. It's a story layer on top of the core story. All right. So I have a progressed sun and I'm an Aquarius rising, but my progressed sun is truthfully useful to know about how things are going for my progressed sun, right? So my progressed sun. All right. So back to us. We are looking at a sky where there is Venus applying a beautiful trine to Uranus in the 12th house from the 8th house, and they're both money houses. Yes, they can bring some unexpected positive money situations to you. A tax rebate, an insurance payout, an inheritance, money from your in-laws, money from a spousal situation, unexpected money coming in a positive way. If you have international revenue, borderless income, and digital stories, if you're making money from a foreign company who employs you, if you work in a country other than the one in which you were born, you're all entitled to this, like, kaboom, some very positive, exciting money stories making their way through your sky Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and the sun backing it up further on the weekend. Now, one thing about the 8th house and the 12th house is called moksha, or liberation from the dream of life. And so any of you who are spiritually inclined and looking at enlightenment stories in your own life, then this is going to give you an even deeper or more profound breakthrough or break-free energy than wherever you've gotten so far, where you divest of your egoic consciousness or you recognize you're all one. You might be going into cosmic consciousness, God consciousness, or unity consciousness. That's the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi TM meditation guy's way of defining it. But you can have some very beautiful spiritual openings coming up later this week and all week long, but through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then consolidating it Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You can see some career excitement, volume up, North Node in the 10th house of career and reputation, Saturn, mastery, authority, and Neptune, visionary possibilities. If you're looking at this energy of 12-8 sort of stretching into the 10th, a lot of this will take deep, deep soul energy and try to lift it to the top of the sky. In some ways, you might be thinking that you want to spiritualize your work, right? You want to bring spiritual vibes into the work you do, or the career that you're pursuing. But Saturn is coming to the end of a 3-year run in your 10th house. This is the capstone, the grand finale. So there may be a sense of completion and also fulfillment, as well as surprises connected to career matters. The North Node of Destiny is going to expand and change and intensify your success here through till the end of July. But this is a sky that opens up something very deep about how your career path wants to go. And if you want to make sort of money from royalty income or ad revenue, or money that comes like you're a shareholder, right? Like, for example, if you make money from a book publishing royalty income, I mean, you share the money with the publisher. Shared resources is the 8th house. And in a way, I'd say you're probably going to find that this is going to give you a boost in those kinds of monies too. And if it doesn't all show up in the week ahead, then look to the, mid-February. Ask yourself to dream into a spiritually aligned career path. And ask the question, am I there? And if not, how do I get there? And let's see what the surprises are that show you the way over the next week or so. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, welcome to your Monday forecast. What a glorious week we have. And we have Venus creating a miniature trine, very positive energy from your 7th house of long-term committed love and relationship, flowing beautifully to Uranus in the 11th house of the elder sibling one above you. Matters connected to friends and allies and benefactors and social community, as well as sometimes the direct gains of your 10th house of career. And this energy is all sort of like, okay, surprise, says Venus and Uranus. Your partner in life, your husband or your wife, is going to get, some boost in their income or some exciting developments in their life, and you're going to just watch it happen. Or even the sibling one older than you, or 3 older than you, or 3 younger than you. Those siblings can have an unexpected bounty, boon, or windfall in their life, and you're just finding out about it. And the energy of the 9th house Saturn-Neptune combination is definitely a purpose energy for you. For the 3 years, you've been really trying to lean into imagining a deeper meaning and purpose in your life. And that started in spring of 23. And now you're ready to claim it. And you know that you're not here to just meander around, in the garden, or make the soup for the family, or, feather the nest as Cancers do. You're also called to find that higher, deeper purpose in your life. And your 9th house is very much about the mystical and the magical and the transcendent and helping people in need, right? Helping the underprivileged, underserved, being charitable. Maybe your purpose can also be very creative or artistic. And this is a book publishing house as well. And podcasting can go up there, serial podcasting. So it looks to me like you're looking for a meaning here, a big meaning, a destined meaning, a north node meaning. And you've had a chironic wound in the job workhouse anyway since 2019, trying to find the key to purpose. So Cancer rising in particular, this is definitely your story this week to see some breakthroughs, plant a seed, write in a journal, do a vision board about what is my purpose and how does my purpose also bring me in touch with my perfect audience, my perfect marketplace, my perfect receiver of my goods, so to speak, the seventh house. And it also brings me into alignment with my long range visions that are also quite bountiful financially. On a very practical note, though, there can be some unexpected money coming through the sky from your spouse or for your spouse or from a sibling. As I said, I described which siblings most likely. If you're going to have unexpected money from a sibling directly coming to you, it's from a sibling one older than you. All right. Thanks for listening. And let's move on into the next story. And by the way, with invisible Venus, you might not get the money right away. Say your sibling one older wins a casino jackpot. But they can't claim it financially through tax structures until mid-February. You see what I'm saying? So, but it's still baking in some benefits from that sibling one older. All right, Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. I think you're going to find that you're going to be asking a deep question about your job, your work, your livelihood, especially if it's not fulfilling you and bringing you joy and passion and determined excitement. And this is Venus's job to wake you up to the question of, is this my purpose in my livelihood and my daily work, service, job, stuff? I don't care. You're retired. Then what do you do all day? Do you make cookies for your grown kids? And do you take care of the grandkids? Are you busy in a homeless shelter or taking care of animals in a animal shelter? How are you spending your retirement? Because the service house it's mandatory. We all have 6th house service to do in this world, right? It's definitely seva, service. You pay off karmic debt by doing something to be of service. And when we're employed and we're in servitude, right? In service. Anyway, so there's something changing here. You want to change. Venus is saying, what do you desire? What kind of job would you like to unite with? And Uranus says, I'll bring you some surprises. So we have a professional axis here for you, right? 10 and 6. So it's a work and profession and combination. And there can be a major change coming up in this next week or so by next Monday in particular, where if it doesn't actually materialize, you know the direction it's going to go, but it will be exhilarating. It will be exciting. It will feel like a breakthrough in your work and career stuff. And because you got a lot of 8th house, other people's money could be helping you do this breakthrough. You may be getting money from if you, I don't know, anything money coming to you from an inheritance, money coming to you from so many ways it could come through your chart. A sibling one older, money could come to you from any sibling in general. There's just money that wants to show up here. And I would say that a lot of this, the Venus trine Uranus surprise, there's ways that money comes to you that you don't earn, South Node in the second. So it's not so much, okay, suddenly I got a raise at work. I doubt that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at something outside the box of the current way money shows up for you. And if money does come to you in unexpected ways, I think it's going to also help you reorient your purpose, because Chiron's been bothering you in the 9th Dharmic house for years, since 2019, asking you already to get in alignment with your original medicine. Why are you born? What are you on the planet for? What are you going to offer the world? What's your medicine for the world that only you can bring, that's as unique as your iris or as unique as your fingerprint? And I like this guy for some breakthroughs by the end of this week in answering that question. But I would do some vision boarding and collaging if I were you guys as well. I'm saying everybody should, so do it. Hey, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. First things first, you are looking at that South Node still through to July in your sign. It's the end of July. And so a lot of you are going through a deep, profound release, let go, let God, surrender, letting go of your Virgo sun career, letting go of your Virgo moon, home or mother stuff, letting go, Virgo rising, of any part of the identity in the matrix that the character needs to shed some of its stuff, So that's happening. And then against that, we have to notice that the North Node is in your 7th house of marriage and long-term committed love and relationship. And the way that operates under this sky this week is that Venus begins to draw in the nodes, right? But particularly pulls on Saturn and Uranus. This could be a really lovely week ahead for an unexpected, surprising trip with a significant long-term relationship partner. It could be international, it could be domestic, both work in the sky. And it could be a leisure trip or a romantic getaway, but whatever it is, it might be surprising. You didn't expect it. And you're like, whoa. And you could get like a wedding proposal out of something like this sky, really an offer to legitimize a relationship at a more ritual level or rite of passage to get married, plan a wedding day, buy a ring, get a ring, whatever. That sky's here this week too. The surprise, I'm probably kiboshing the surprise by telling you this, right? But it's kind of the vibe here. And then the other thing I say is that there may be some unexpected surprises with your children, and it can involve fertility. So a child is pregnant and you're going to be a grandparent. If you are of childbearing age, you or your partner could be getting a little shockaroo as well, that you guys are you have conceived a child, and then you're going to be making some major decisions about that. If you're in a long-term relationship, this is going to help bring more fun and joy and pleasure into the actual intimacy and the affection and sexual energy of the relationship as well. And your partner in crime, the seventh house story, they're going to help you in a lot of ways with that Neptune Saturn, and you can help them visualize what this relationship wants to be and become. The North Node has been growing a bigger pot for the relationship to repot itself in. Think of your seventh house as I don't know, pick your favorite plant, a money tree. I don't know. And it's root bound, and the relationship needs a larger volume space to grow. North Node volumes up the relationship. And I noticed that a lot of couples with this North Node transit started here in January of 25 till the end of July 26. They will move in together. They will get married. They'll set a wedding date. They will try to, they'll merge their financial resources. They'll find ways to make this relationship more than it already is. And so this is going to be a little bit of a breakthrough in that area of that story with a surprise. Are you single? Well, you could find yourself in an unexpected, new, dreamy soulmate relationship with someone 6 to 7 years younger or older than you, coming out of the blue, maybe coming from someone in an international setting, different language, culture, whatever. But it could provoke an unexpected, exciting, and very compelling new love story. And it wouldn't be an inauspicious one at that. I would go for a story like this because it bakes in longevity, loyalty, commitment, and endurance, along with something outside the box. Let me know what happens. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. I always ask myself when I get here, am I only halfway through? Libra, sun, moon, and rising. It's going to be this vibe of the mini trine. Venus is leading the way. Oh, okay, new home, beautiful home, better home. Surprise! You won the lottery. You have enough money. You could win the lottery. You all of a sudden have a chunk of money that you didn't expect. Could be inheritances, could be tax rebates, could be insurance payouts. I don't know. But here's this kind of surprising chunk of money. And it may connect to your mom, dad, ancestors, land, real estate, property, kaboom, with an eldering, Saturn in the house of sickness, and he's old by degree and he's old by nature. There may be the passing of an elder in the upline of your family, and the beginning of a notification coming through the sky by the end of the week, by Monday, that maybe you're going to receive some inheritance money. Now, if that's not even possible, you could have a jolt of money from a professional endeavor in a work environment and a career space as well. And you might also find that this is an unexpected surprise regarding property rentals, pets, an ability to eliminate a debt in one fell swoop. And you could have some positive news about your health, especially if you've been dealing with a health issue that's been bothering you on and off since 2023, March. And now this could be a breakthrough in the challenges you've been having, because it would connect you to family of origin. Like you find out, oh my God, I've got the something that my dad had or my mom had. And by understanding the challenge through the lens of your ancestral line or DNA or family patterns, you might have a massive breakthrough in your health challenge. And I would use hypnosis with Neptune here, or any of the non-ordinary healing modalities to bring this breakthrough to awareness and to clear a health challenge out of your life for good. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. I love this sky for you because you are Mars ruled. Mars is right behind Venus, backing her up. Back. Back up, back up. That's supposed to be a cop on his little staticky thing. But Mars, your ruler, is backing up Venus. He's got her back, okay? As she's forming an unexpected and positive surprise. Now, this could be a surprise to do with fertility and pregnancy, including you're going to be a grandparent or you and your partner are going to be parents. And so just be braced for impact. Okay, that's a possibility. There's an unexpected travel opportunity. And you're so excited about it and you can't believe it's happening and you're just jumping for joy and you're like, with my significant other, let's go. You're in the online digital landscape. You're an artist and you have a muse and all of a sudden you go viral. Your music goes viral. Your writing goes viral. Your post about your art, creativity and entrepreneurial stuff, something can go viral. You can have a viral hit. Look for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for a big pop in that area. You might also notice that this could bring you into much more of a kind of ability to communicate, to teach or to write in original, inventive ways that also allow for the authentic mastery of your talent to shine. But a deeper meaning of everything this week is the meaning of purpose. And because the purpose sign of Capricorn, where we have our resourcefulness, but also our climb up the mountains of our goals, is in the third house. A lot of Scorpios are well served by using the third house energy as a purpose marker. So often we use our hands and our arms here. So, typing, writing, making pottery, playing a guitar, teaching can be here, communicating. We talk with our hands. And so there's a lot going on here to open that up for you and really ask you to use some of these skills that you have with the natural talent you were born with. Natural talent you're born with is your fifth house. And your skills that you can create and learn is your third. You might have a natural talent for singing, but if you took voice lessons, I bet you're a lot better. And that combination of energies is what we're talking about, and a breakthrough. And I love Uranus here because it could be exciting in terms of something hitting the marketplace, the public, the audience, and going viral. And unexpected, exciting developments and breakthroughs with a sibling 3 older, a sibling 3 younger, and a sibling in general. Any old sibling will do. Siblings are going to have positive surprises. So when I talked about fertility and all of that, I should also add, if your children or you aren't making an unexpected baby, then maybe a sibling is. So get ready for that to pop through the sky by the end of this week. Hey, Sagittarius, sun and moon and rising sign people. You have a money stellium building in that second house. It's invisible, but it's making a promise. More money's coming to you over the next couple of years. But is another story is this week's Venus trine Uranus. This is work, job, career kind of stuff, working all the live long day. And this is your money and earnings and pocketbook, and surprise, something's breaking free, something's breaking through. It could be an unexpected job offer. Mercury rules your 10th house of career. South node is from the past. Maybe you've worked for that company before and all of a sudden you hear back and you've been in that industry before. It's not unusual. You've been there before, but you're going to get a breakthrough offer or opportunity perhaps to do something. And it could be very exciting for you. It could even involve consulting work or independent work rather than full-time employment, but there's an exciting breakthrough here for you. And your money can have a nice breakthrough as well of any kind. Venus is the lord of the house of windfalls. So you might come into a windfall of some kind financially. What a surprise. You can't believe your luck. Financial windfall could strike by the week's end. Look, especially for that to be more true Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, you might want to make some changes in where you live. That's because you've got the Saturn finishing up as 3 years in your fourth house, melancholic, lonely old person living with you, heavy-hearted in the home, solitude in the home, hiding in your home, home alone. Anyway, Saturn's at the tail end of that story, and he's with Neptune. And there's something about some visionary power here, and it could move you to a new home. But if you're going to do that, move to a new home, and you could get a car out of this too, but buy a car, sell a car. But if you're going to move to a new home, it's going to likely be a rental with Uranus in the sixth house, but it could be a move to a new home or place to live because of work. But because of Jupiter in the eighth house, an inheritance from an ailing elder could pop right through the sky this week by the end of the week and show you the freedom from debts and a liberation regarding the work you do in the world. Because if you're going to come into a bunch of money, maybe you no longer want to work at the 7-Eleven. So there's something wants to transform here and change it all up. So look for some positive surprises by the week's end. And maybe with this kind of sky, you could even experience a feeling of freedom from a shackle regarding a health challenge or dietary problem, especially addictions, right? All this, you've been trying to do dry Jan, it's not working, and you have a boom. By the end of this week, you have a breakthrough, illumination, a shift of addictions or bad food styles, breaking through for better health by next Monday. Or, by the let's say by the 13th of the month. Hang on. This is for the 12th to the 18th, by the 18th. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. I love your sky. This is so beautiful because you are having a massive transformation. Are you okay? This was like you in 1994, 95. Buckle up. You're back again. Sun, moon, and risings. You're going through a shake up time. Shake it up, baby, and it's intense and you are being reborn again. Capricorn sun, career, Capricorn moon, home and nest, emotions, and Capricorn rising. Your whole reality of your character in the simulation is changing. Now, I just had a Capricorn rising on my call the other day for my class, and she said, in that year, 94, 95, I changed countries, I got married, and I changed jobs, career, all in one 2-year cycle. So that's coming for you. I already done a ton of stuff on this. I taught a webinar. I'm going to put it up for sale at a very affordable price on my channel. It'll probably be in the description box below. But I want to have you realize how much intensity this is for you. And against the backdrop, Venus is leading the way. Mars has her back, exalting you. And she's trying to give you a surprise in the 5th house. Now, the 5th house can be windfalls. Because it activates, Mars is a ruler of windfalls and pennies from heaven. Venus owns the house of winning money, like a lottery, a casino, a speculation, a gamble win. And this energy is kaboom. This axis is bright and sparkly for you. So definitely encourage you to play a lottery ticket this week ahead. It can't hurt, okay? But this fifth house is your children. So surprises regarding your children. Right. So there's that. And this house is the house of sex and romance and surprises regarding sex and romance. And you're looking handsome and dashing. What do you have in your wardrobe? Are you all dolled up as a pretty lady with a new haircut? Because you got some good looks going on here. Venus is making you also more charming and affable and friendly. And if I was you and I was single, I'd go on a date. I'd buy a lottery ticket. And then after you get your ticket, go on the date. Do both of it this week ahead. You could have some massive, exciting breakthroughs in a relationship. This is also the local pubs, the restaurants down here where Saturn and Neptune are. Meet your dream soulmate. Age difference, though. Saturn would say 6-7 years younger or older minimum. But you could meet a really mystical, long-term, committed love relationship by going to the pub, the restaurant, local events in your neighborhood, or traveling. The 3rd house is a travel house. And so there may be unexpected opportunities bolting through your sky by the week's end through to next Monday, until like the 18th, 19th, that open up exciting, exhilarating opportunity for travel connected to romantic love. Okay. So there you go. Did I mention fertility for your children? That too, but you or your children, but baby making time. But as a lot of this looks like you could be here. You could be doing local stuff, going on a date, traveling for romance, meeting somebody because you're traveling, right? You're on the road and you meet someone and you guys really hit it off. So there's some stuff there. You can meet somebody on online dating. I'm going to give you that. If you want to do that stuff, go for it, because this is the online neighborhood. And so digital dating could work as well. It's a good week to put yourself out there if you're single. If you're with somebody already, it's not really this story. You might have some surprising kink in the bedroom, okay? Otherwise, I'm really talking to the singletons here, and the windfalls and the money luck. You can benefit financially from a sibling 3 older, 3 younger than you, or 1 older in this kind of sky, or just any sibling in general, and some financial prosperity from that sibling coming your way. Oh my gosh, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. Yeah, I am one of you. I need to do t-shirts and merch, says my business guy now. So maybe one will be Aquarius, I am one of you, or Pisces, never last, never least, best and always best, or get me some chunky money. Give me some ideas in the comments, guys. So I would only have high quality, high value cotton because I like fine things with my Venus and Taurus. I like the pleasures of natural fabric. Now, when I look at the sky for us Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising, I will say to us, I'm rising. I will say this: if you're barking up the enlightenment tree, keep barking, right? I mean, South Node in the Moksha 8th house to release and surrender your egoic self. Uranus in the 4th house, shock to the system of your ancestral roots. Your need to be culturally normative, the need to belong and fit in. Goodbye. And then your 12th house liberation, complete, breakthroughs to the Buddha levels and the Jesus levels and the Muhammad levels and the Krishna levels of consciousness, like completely escape velocity for reality and into the deep, deep vista of awareness. So there's just something there for you. So if you are in that journey, keep going, as they say, or Jim McKenna says, go further in his book, Enlightenment, the Darndest Thing. I recommend that book for all of you if you're already on the path. But also, this is a house that also brings money, right? And Venus is a money goddess, and she's refined and resourceful, and she's got her boss babe shoulder pads on in Capricorn, and she goes the distance to make the things happen. So she's looking at your sky from that house, and she likes to make her money happen and ask you what you desire as well. And she's flowing in a beautiful trine to the surprise Uranus in her kingdom. There is a well star there. I know it's Algol, but this is a flowing energy from Venus. So I don't think you're going to be decapitated in your head, in your house. So, but just be careful you don't walk into a cupboard and bump your head. But all said and done, this could bring some unexpected surge of wealth or money or resources to you, but it's coming from the 4th house, which can be ancestral, family of origin, or connected to land, property, and real estate matters. The other thing I'd say is that there's something going on here in the money house itself. This is your resources, pocketbook, wallet, and financial safety net. And it's like Saturn's been helping you work with the money story for 3 years, and now Neptune and Saturn are finishing strong this time frame, and they're like, okay, the grand finale. What visionary goals and dreams that you've been working on do you want to consolidate into a sustainable, lasting structure for wealth and money and resources? But remember what Venus says in the beginning. Are you enjoying it, and do you value it? And what do you actually want to feel when you bring this to you? One thing I'll say about Venus in the 12th house, if you ever look at actors and actresses, they have a lot of Venus or Sun back there. It can bring you into more of a desire to be on stage in life, to perform a bit more and maybe enjoy that. Or it can bring you into a desire as well to generate more revenue from borderless income, international shores, and distant places, and do that in a way that's more consolidated, more structured, and maybe more enjoyable. And you look for a breakthrough around this. And even Uranus in the 4th house, because it's a midnight hour, and Venus is in a house of solitude and dreaming even, you might have some breakthrough insights through meditation and dreams about how to accomplish something here that's meaningful and purposeful. Mars is a ruler of your 3rd house, writing, teaching. He's backing up Venus, right? Is that something you want to do? Traveling, communicating, there's a lot going on here. And Venus is also the ruler of your house of book publishing. So the writing planet, Mars rules the house of the hands. You need to write. And Venus rules the house of publishing. So for some of you, and I know this is true for me, right? I want to write 2 books, 3 books. My agent wants me to write the astrology book. I really want to write another book, but if I get her to take that book, then I can then I can lure her into the things I really care about writing about, like my enlightenment book, my Wine Lover's Middle Way book, and my fiction book. So if I have to cast a spell on my reality and do a vision board, I'm going to do one this week where I have a lot of stuff on it that shows me as an accomplished author. So all of you visualize and envision what it is. Mars is also the 10th house career ruler. What is it you want to bring into form? But the unexpected surprises are still here. You're not in charge of that. That's happening no matter what. So it could be a monetary uptick. It could be some unexpected property and prosperity through real estate and property. It could possibly be an inheritance of some sort, or money coming from an ex-spouse of all things, or even a spouse in general. But there can be a nice financial glow up this by the end of the week that surprises you as well. And finally, she's going to take a slurp of water. Okay. Finally, never last, never least, best and always best, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign, mystic poets of the zodiac. Let's get started. It is a sky that says, can you say yes to a financial windfall? Can you say yes to help from other people? Can you say yes to a big revision of your long range goals and dreams? Can you say yes to more income from the work and career path that you've chosen? Because this is what that stellium will try to create and eliminate things that stand in the way of those things being fulfilled. This said, Venus this week, as we approach Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, backed up by the sun on the weekend, is flowing beautifully to Uranus in a surprise trine in your third house. Now, this could bring you unexpected financial benefits through siblings. This could bring you unexpected opportunities for travel and maybe connected to siblings. This can bring you unexpected viral hits in the digital online world and more celebrity and influence. This can bring you unexpected prosperity connected to digital income, borderless revenue, or things you're doing on the online revenue stream. This is also somehow going to bring you into a more consolidated and solid sense of self. This is you trying to be serious, sober-minded, realistic, and have a backbone while having visions, dreams, and transdimensional, interdimensional awareness. You're trying to take the ineffable and make it real. You're trying to be real while you're also dissolving in the vast ocean of consciousness. So you guys have been through this energy for 3 years. It's coming to an end. But as you're holding the space of the unreal and the real becoming one, this is a dream manifestation energy. So this week ahead, visualize, write about, maybe channel the muse even. What do you wish to create in your life? What do you want it to look like? And why? Is it meaning? Does it have meaning for you? Because meaning will be a key word here. Now, you do have Jupiter in the romance house, and you do have, the potential for some romance that wants to flourish in this week ahead. But remember, Jupiter's not direct till March 11th. So something that begins to flourish as a romance before March 11th, if it's new, could turn around and go the other way by the time we move into the March to June 30th. So be careful with that unless it's getting together with a former romantic partner. You might have unexpected shocking news, though, around your children, and maybe they're going to be disclosing fertility. I'm pregnant. My partner and I are pregnant, because we have some activation from Mars of the house of grandparenting for you. So grandchildren. So there also could be some exciting developments this week ahead. You might want to travel this week ahead unexpectedly, though. Maybe you didn't plan that trip. There's like unexpected travel opportunities. Kaboom, they could come to you as well in this week ahead, domestic or international. And so by the time we roll into, like, say, Sunday the 18th, this unexpected travel opportunity might emerge and surprise you and maybe even delight you, actually. So there's that too. And the wish fulfillment fairy godmother is in the wish fulfillment house. So for you guys, wish upon a dream, wish into your highest aspirations professionally, wish into what kind of love life you want, wish into everything, wish into where you want to live. Mercury is the ruler of your fourth house. He's in the wish house. That's the story I've got for you. Thanks for listening. And don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe. I often have an outro, where I tell you a magical story of something that's been going on in my life. I guess I can tell you a synchronicity story. We'll call this just one of my many stories on synchronicity. So last night I went to bed and I was reading a wonderful book called The Time Hop Cafe. And when I finished it in bed, I held it in my arms and said, I would love to write a book this good. I love that book. I'm going to put it up there kind of with The Time Traveler's Wife and stuff like that, The Lovely Bones. But I just thought she was such an evocative and gentle writer, and I cared about the characters, and it was magical realism, my favorite type of writing. So, and then I woke up this morning and I decided to go for a walk to the grocery store because it wasn't raining, but the elevator was out, so I had to take the stairs. And I thought logically I probably shouldn't do that because if the elevator's still out, I have to carry my groceries up 9 floors. But I took a leap of faith. And as I left the place, I walked down the street, I got half a block away, and my neighbor was there. And she lives right next to me, and she has a dog, Piper. And so I talked to her because she said hi. And I'm like, oh, hi, how are you doing? And we talked for only about 2 minutes into the conversation and found out that she is a writer for film and television. And I said, oh my God, I'm an award-winning fiction writer, short fiction published. Won a screenplay award. I was a writer as a journalist. The next thing you know, we find this thing we have in common. I've been living in this building for half a year and we hadn't had that conversation. And then I thought to myself when I got home, she texted me with some like promises of some books that she wanted me to, that she loved, and she's going to recommend them. But then I was thinking after I talked with her, I need to introduce her to my friend, the author of The Virgin's Promise, a book for screenwriters, The Virgin's Promise. And this woman, by the way, lived in LA and worked in LA, right? And I lived in New York City and DC. So we have that in common as Canadians. And so I thought she needs to read Kim's book. It's called The Virgin's Promise, and Kim's a friend of mine. It's a female story arc of Kim Hudson, the feminine arc of story. And as soon as I get home, Kim messages me from where she lives and says, oh my God, like, you want to meet me in Mexico again? Because she and I like to travel together. And I said, I can't believe that synchronicity. I was just thinking about you. And then I had just texted my neighbor, Andrea, and sent her Kim's book information. And then Kim texts me. So all that flow, all that sense of everything's divinely orchestrated, everything's happening as it should. It's so beautiful when we're in the flow. I had many more of those today, synchronicity. But I find that the way to synchronicity is stillness. And I spend every morning for like an hour just saturated in stillness, no phone, fireplace, candles, 6 a.m. And then I also stay in that stillness during the day, and meaning that I'm trying not to world dominate my plot line here, because I got so caught up. Like some of you, I know how you feel about it, like your to-do list, and you're on a treadmill and you're trying to get everything done. And that was me until about September. And then I had a shift. And I now don't do that anymore. If something doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. My Substack was supposed to go out Monday and it went out today. My all signs delineation audio for my paid subscribers, because I was coming down with a flu or something like it. And then I had a healer turn it around for me, but I didn't write the thing I was supposed to write for Monday. So I was behind, and I'm like, okay, I'm behind. What's the worst that's going to happen? What's the worst that's going to happen? Someone will unsubscribe. Fine. Right. And you're talking about a journalist who never missed a deadline. So in your own life, this week ahead, look for that synchronistic still point. The still point brings the flow in because you're in the present moment. You're in the present moment, not worrying about the past or thinking about the future. You're just not thinking. And by the way, you cannot think and be in the present moment for the most part. Even when you're like driving, you're thinking, oh, which turn is that I need to take? I get that you need to have functional thinking. But in that thought moment, you leave that present moment, right? There's this no way to operate in a thinking capacity fully. And I think it's interesting too. I think because when I'm doing creative art and stuff like poetry, I'm not really thinking. It's just coming through me. Like, I'm not thinking about the next word I'm going to say. There's no thought involved when I'm writing creatively, when I'm writing poetry, when I'm doing really good quality writing. I just know it just came through me, right? And there is no thinking. Ask any artist. There's no thinking about the brushstroke. You might think about it later to tidy it up. But that first draft, that first thing that flows through you before you tidy it up with the mind, as an artist, let me know in the comments. Do you find yourself without thought as you're creating? That's because you're in the present moment. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Usually it's Monday, Wednesday, it's usually Sunday, Monday, Thursday, probably still will be. And on Thursday, I'll be dropping something new. So stay tuned for that. And on Sunday, the day before, I dropped a video on the Capricorn lunation coming up, also embedded in a miniature grand trine. Go watch that as well. See you guys soon. Ciao, ciao. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Welcome to all my newcomers. I'm glad to have you here.